Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so pleased to welcome you all. My name is Emmalee Hackshaw. I am the Director of Community Engagement for Georgia Public Broadcasting, and it's an honor to be here in Columbus with you this afternoon for the kickoff of the StoryCorps Columbus, Georgia Mobile Tour stop. So thank you all for being here today. We're very excited. StoryCorps is funded in part by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. This mobile tour stop in Columbus, however, is brought to you with local support from our partners VisitColumbusGA and Chattahoochee Valley Libraries. So I'd like to say a big thank you so much to VisitColumbusGA and Peter and Shelby and your team. Thank you. And thank you so much to Chattahoochee Valley Libraries for being our host partner. And so with that, I'd like to invite Alan to say a few words. Thank you so much for being here.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Alan Harkness, Director of Chattahoochee Valley Libraries. What better place to tell a story? Any story. Besides being a place to find a story, the library is a story in and of itself. We do collect literature, a variety of stories in types and formats, but a public library reflects the story of its community, where the community's priorities are and what it thinks are important. You can see this in any town's library. This library, in this particular spot, tells the story of segregation, of a lack of access, of being left with a smaller facility that paid lip service to separate but equal. The flip side of that story are the successes and enriched lives of many who use this library to better themselves to write their own story. And those are stories worth telling. We will tell it here in a permanent exhibit in the coming months, which is built on the stories collected by StoryCorps' first visit to Columbus in 2015. We say here that in a public library, public means everyone. Regardless of who you are or your background, we want you here. How fitting for a connection with Georgia Public Broadcasting. How fitting for a well-known entity like StoryCorps. We want everyone to know that this is a place to find your own story, to tell your own story, to find connection, and to see yourself in what we have to offer. When we do that, we're helping to build community and build story for all. It's a daunting task, but when you join with local partners like VisitColumbusGA, with state partners like Georgia Public Broadcasting, and with national partners like StoryCorps, we can do it. There's a basic tenet in librarianship that says for every reader their book, for every book their reader, and that libraries are for use. Books are for use. Books, stories really are for everyone. Public means everyone. So welcome. Welcome to your library. We're where your story takes place. Thank you.
Alan, that's going to be a hard act to follow. So why is storytelling so powerful? Anytime you start a sentence off with once upon a time, you know there's something special and magical about to happen. I'm Peter Bowden, President and CEO of VisitColumbusGA, and today is a special day. Storytelling is one of the most powerful means that humans have to influence, to teach, and to inspire. It forges connections among people and between people and ideas. Stories convey the culture, history, and values that unite people. But what is the purpose? What purpose does storytelling serve? It passes on personal, historical, and cultural events and experiences, so they transcend to shared experiences. Stories alters individuals, changing them into families and groups and communities and even nations. Storytelling describes the social and cultural activity of sharing stories, sometimes with improvisation, theatrics, or embellishment. Every culture has its own stories or narratives which are shared as a means of entertainment and education, cultural preservation, or even instilling moral values. And we know that cultures have told stories. Some as early evidence of stories come from cave drawings in Lascaux and Chappot, France. The drawings, which date back as far as 30,000 years ago, depicting animals and humans and other objects. oral storytelling is a way of telling and passing along those influences through voice and gestures. And we are so excited to be a part of this chapter capturing today's stories. Many thanks, as we've already talked about, to StoryCorps for choosing Columbus this year, the partnership with Georgia Public Broadcasting and the Chattahoochee Valley Libraries. Incredible. Matter of fact, one of my first jobs was with the library system in its film department. And of course, everyone who will step forward in the next several weeks to tell their stories. And then one of my favorite authors, Charles DeLint, he says it best perhaps, is that don't forget that no one sees the world the way you do. So no one else can tell the stories that you have to tell. Thank you, and make it a great day.
All right. Hi everyone, my name is Eunice Cho and I am the site manager of the StoryCorps Mobile Tour, and it is so nice to be here with all of you today. I would like to start off by giving a big thank you to Georgia Public Broadcasting, especially Emmalee Hackshaw, for organizing our visit and for their continuous support. Thank you to the Chattahoochee Valley Libraries, especially Henry McCoy, for hosting us in two of their beautiful spaces. We'll be recording at Mildred L. Terry Public Library and also at Columbus Public Library. We have a special connection to the Mildred L. Terry Library because we partnered up with them in 2015 as part of the StoryCorps at Your Library program, and it was led by Sylvia Bunn, the manager at this branch, who is still here and standing here today, and it was a huge success. And especially thank you to VisitColumbusGA for sponsoring us at this Columbus stop. As you can imagine, there were a lot of meetings, Zoom calls, endless logistical emails that went into getting us here with you today. We could not have done it without you all. And I also want to add, this is actually our first mobile stop in Columbus, Georgia, so this is a very special moment for us too. We, my colleagues and I, are all so excited to be here in Columbus, Georgia for the second in-person stop of 2021. I would love to take a moment to introduce the fabulous StoryCorps staff, Sarah Paget and Ben DeHaven. Ben and Sarah are our facilitators, and Dave Isay, the founder of StoryCorps, famously calls the StoryCorps facilitators the heart of the organization. When you think of StoryCorps, they are what brings StoryCorps to the people. So what is StoryCorps? You hear the words interview a lot, but conversation is really more accurate. We invite two people who know each other and care about each other to come in and have a conversation. We record it, give them a copy, and if they choose to release it to us, we archive the recordings with the American Folklife Center at the Library of Congress. Why do we do this? First is the oral history aspect. Future generations will be able to listen back to this massive archive of first-hand accounts of what life is like in the United States today. At this point, we have over 300,000 conversations archived at the Library of Congress. In addition to that, we recognize that many communities have been underrepresented or misrepresented, and we want to help them preserve and amplify their voices. We hope to create better understanding across communities, and we strongly believe in the power of listening. How often do you sit down with someone you love and care about, turn off all cell phones, shut out the outside world, and ask more significant questions? Questions like, who has been the most important person in your life? What is your favorite memory of me? What are you proudest of? How would you like to be remembered? Listening is such a gift. It is a demonstration of our love. So how do you participate? We started recording here at the Mildred L. Terry Library yesterday, October 14th, and we will be recording through November 12th. The second half of our appointments went live this morning, so if you haven't signed up already, please do that at storycorps.org/GPB. You have the option to record with us in person or on our new virtual platform, and we'll be recording over 100 conversations here in Columbus, and we encourage you to add your voice to that collection. If any of you are from the press and want to ask questions to our staff or tour the recording space, please come talk to us after. And finally, thank you all again for letting us be a part of documenting the community history of Columbus, and we look forward to hearing and celebrating your stories. Thank you all so much.